ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, welcome back to the all exciting Srimad Bhagavatam life lessons class. And we are towards the conclusion of the Samudra Manthan Leela. And very soon, probably next week, we will start with another exciting pastime from the Srimad Bhagavatam. But today there's a lot coming in this pastime. Some very, very interesting and surprising things will happen in today's discussion. So we'll just do a quick recap of the previous session. In the previous session, we discussed that how after Mohini Murti cheated the demons and provided a nectar to the devatas. The devatas, after drinking the nectar, they got rejuvenated. All of their lost powers were now reinstated. Why did they lose their powers? Because of the offense to Durvasa Rishi. So by offense to Durvasa Rishi, they lost their powers. Now, by serving the Lord, acting as per plan of the Lord, they have now reinstated. They have been reinstated in their position and power. So, and then as the demons understood that the devatas have um, partaken of all the nectar, which anyways was their plan also, to just neglect these devatas and have the nectar for themselves. But when the devatas did it, that they could not digest and they immediately attacked the devatas. And there was a fierce fight which ensued, and we discussed that how the corresponding demons they locked in a battle with the devatas. There was a fierce battle, and the demons could not surpass the prowess of the devatas through direct combat. So they resorted to these kind of illusory tricks, Mayavi Shaktis, uh, by creating some illusion of a big, huge mountain which is showering swords and lances and tigers and elephants and all of these creatures, snakes, and burning logs of wood. These are all crashing on the devatas, and they could not really process that how to handle all of this. So at this point of time, they helplessly surrendered to the Lord again. Hmm. It is not that uh, nectar, as we discussed, is an indemnity or to all sorts of problems. The only solution to all problems in life is Sharanagati, taking shelter of the Supreme Lord. Rest, any other problem has its um expiry date, and any other solution comes with its expiry date. Any medicine that you buy from the counter, it comes with its expiry date, and after some time it expires. So the solutions in this world, they come with an expiry date. They are useful, they are good in certain situations, for certain duration of time, but then after that they don't work. The only solution which works in all places, at all times, in all circumstances, and for all people is taking shelter of the lotus-eyed Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is a solution they resorted to. And as soon as they sincerely called out to the Lord appeared there, and just by his presence, all of these illusions were they disappeared. And then the Lord killed some of the demons who were creating trouble, and then Lord disappears. And now chapter 11 we see that the battle again continues. So one of the points that we had discussed was that in this material world, this concept of struggle, struggle will always continue. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Prak Sharir Vimokshana. Someone may ask that, oh, I have to practice this spiritual life. I know it is good for me, but it is struggle. It is struggle to control the senses. It is struggle to be kind to others. It is struggle to not be envious of others. But how long will I have to do? So Krishna says, Prak Sharir Vimokshana. Till the time you leave this body, you keep on fighting. The battle must go on. It's not that the battle is not being done to go to the kingdom and enjoy. No, the battle is being done as a worship to the Lord, as a display of one's sincerity. So this is a different type of battle, the internal battle. So now chapter 11, what happens here in chapter 11? We'll recite verse number 1. Shri Shuka Vacha Ato Sura Pratyupalabdha Chetasa Parasya Pumsaha Parayanukampaya Jagnu Brisham Shakra Samira Nanadayas Tam Stan Rane Yera Visamhata Pura. Shukdev Goswami said, thereafter, by the supreme grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Shri Hari, all the demigods headed by Indra and Vayu were brought back to life. Being enlivened, the demigods began severely beating the very same demons who had defeated them before. So, by the mystic illusion, they had all fallen unconscious or died. But then Lord revived all of them by his glance. And the similar theme comes when the cowherd boys, they had entered the mouth of Agasur, considering it to be a picnic spot. Let us explore. It looks like a good cave. And anyways, if something happens, Krishna hai na. So devotees are expert at putting Krishna and Guru in anxiety. Let us try this out, an adventure. क्या होता है? Krishna है ना, बचा लेंगे. So the verse says Vismita, that Krishna becomes Vismita, surprised and dumbstruck. That how is it that they, without asking me, without consulting me, और बिंदास चले गए अंदर, अभी मैं ही बचाऊं इनको. So like this, even there, when Krishna entered the mouth of Agasur and opened his mouth and opened his mouth and killed him. So these cowherd boys and the calves were in a dead condition, in an unconscious condition. So by the glance of the Lord, they were revived back to life. So all of us are constantly being bitten by the venom of the material energy. Sometimes we venture out to get that bite. Okay, let me see. Kaisa rehta hai? How does this, the poison of this serpent taste? Let me taste the poison of the serpent of lust. Let me taste the poison of the serpent of pride. Let me taste the poison of the serpent of greed. So, हम भी जाके कुछ serpent से खेलते हैं. Let me explore. And then when that poison enters our system, then we become spiritually dead. We no longer have the enthusiasm for spiritual life, for chanting, for associating with devotees, for serving, isn't it? So that time the glance of the Lord revives our lost enthusiasm for bhakti. And glance of the Lord we are receiving every day. And the darshanarthi Lord is giving darshan. So the Lord glanced upon all of these devatas and revived them. And now the battle again ensues. So now what happens, in order to really mm, uh, bring out that kind of valor and that kind of extreme fighting spirit. These fighters, these warriors, they would curse and speak harsh words to each other. You have seen in Bollywood movies, पहले लड़ाई से पहले कुछ ऐसा उल्टा सीधा कहते हैं तो गुस्सा आता है. So Indra and Bali Maharaj, they started exchanging harsh words. Indra, what does Indra say? What do you think, Bali? हमको बच्चा समझा है क्या? Just as a rogue, a thief, he thinks that okay, this child has worn nice ornaments. I want to steal the child's ornaments. So what should I do? I will just cover the child's eyes, ऐसा आँख बंद कर दूंगा और फिर उसका जो बैंगल्स है, जो उसका नेकलेस है, वो निकाल दूंगा. So that is what you thought, na? By creating these illusions, by covering our eyes with these illusions, you thought you are going to steal the power away from us. बच्चा समझा हमको? We are also masters of mystic power. Simply by remembering the Lord, we have cast away all of your illusion. As in this way, when Indra is chiding Bali, Bali tells to Indra, and Indra further says, and what do you think? You will ascend to heavens just like that by all of these illusory powers. I, as the Lord of heaven, I send these fools and rascals who try to ascend to upper planets by mechanical means to the lowest regions of universe. So our Pavaneshwar Prabhu, who is doing his PhD in Vedic cosmology, he quotes this verse, cites this verse, and says that probably the several space missions and the moon missions and the Mars missions, which are trying to reach the heavenly planets, are, by the mystic power of Indra, being redirected to the lower regions rather than the heavenly planets. Because this is what Indra is saying. I send those fools and rascals who ascend to upper planets by mechanical means to lower regions of universe. So by the mystic power, they are redirected, and so it may appear to them I have reached the moon, I have reached Mars, but they might have landed somewhere else. So I'm not claiming anything. I'm just repeating what is there. It is for us to consider. Okay, now as Indra has chastised Bali and called his efforts as futile, Bali also chides Indra. He says, Indra, you are talking that you are devotee of the Lord. What kind of a devotee are you? You are simply attached to be a doer and an enjoyer. As soon as you lost your kingdom, you became so anxious and so restless like a child. And you were telling me that हमें बच्चा समझा है क्या? बच्चा ही है तू, टॉफी के लिए रोता है. You are crying for getting these heavenly planets for enjoyment. We are the real Kshatriyas. We are fighting for the sake of fighting. Victory and defeat is just a byproduct. So that is, we are fighting as per dharma. So like this, Bali also is chastising Indra. And actually, when Bali rebukes Indra in this way, it is described in the 11th verse that Indra did not become angry. Why he did not become angry? Because he saw truth in the allegations of Bali. Because he realized, actually, I am attached. So he did not become upset with Bali for saying so, or he did not become ashamed in front of everyone. How can in public you portray me like this as an attached enjoyer and controller? But no, he found there is truth to what he's saying, and so he was honest, and therefore he did not become angry. So he says, Shukdev Goswami says, just as an elephant directed by the goad of the Mahavat doesn't become angry because he knows he is guiding me in the right direction. Otherwise, how will I know where to go? So similarly, Indra, he feels that, okay, there is some truth to what he's saying. Let me accept it for my good. So this is a very very profound lesson in accepting feedback. It is said by Chanakya Pandit that Amritam Grahayat Triratnam Dushkuladapi. He says that one should accept gold even from garbage. If there is a municipality garbage and you find a gold biscuit lying among all the trash and dirty substances, would you say no, then though it is worth lakhs of rupees? So you would say, okay, मैं धो लूंगा उसको, right? Or something like, if your earring or your bracelet falls in the gutter, will you leave it? No, you won't flush it. So Chanakya Pandit says that gold is gold. Even if it falls into a dirty place, you pick it up. Then he says, Stri Ratnam Dushkuladapi, that if for marriage, whether woman or man, if the character is good, then one should not consider so much about the family lineage and all of the other things. What kind of caste? So these considerations are not important. If the character is great, then he says that one should accept good advice even from a fool. Even a foolish person, even a child or a foolish person, if he tells you something and there is some truth to it, then you humbly accept it. Just as you would accept gold from garbage. So this is a very important advice from Chanakya Pandit, that one should prioritize progress over prestige. Generally, we have a certain attachment to our prestige. How can I accept an advice or a feedback from this person? What does he know? Who is he or she to teach me, instruct me? But no, it is not the messenger, it is the message which is important. So the messenger may be fool or inexperienced, but if his message is correct, then you should accept it. Srila Prabhupada, when he was in the Grahastha ashram, and he would print Back to Godhead magazines and distribute. And then later, as the Vanaprastha also, he would do it. So one of the persons, he would go to the tea stalls and different places and go and give this spiritual knowledge in the form of magazines. And one person, he told him, "Oh Swamiji, you are just going around selling these small magazines. These magazines people will just maybe purchase, keep, or they may even throw it away. They might not even read. But if you print books, they will stay with people for a long time." So now this person, Prabhupada, could have said, what does this person know about spiritual subject matter? Who is he to instruct me? But Prabhupada saw the merit of his advice and he took it seriously, and he actually begged to gain enough money to publish the first volume of Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? So this is prioritizing progress over prestige. Irrespective of from whom advice is coming, if it is helpful for me, let me accept it. So Indra accepted this advice from Bali, but then he didn't stop fighting. He continued his fighting. He said, okay, you may speak whatever nonsense you want, but warriors, their weapons speak more than their tongues. So here handle my Vajra. Hmm. So he sends for, and meanwhile Bali also is attacking Indra, and there is a battle, fierce battle between the two. Indra cuts through all the arrows which have been shot by Bali, but finally Indra's Vajra outweighs Bali's attacks, and Bali with his entire mystic airplane crashes down onto the ground, and all the demons cries, "Alas, alas, alas! Our leader is dead." Hmm. So Bali is, lying there half dead, and meanwhile the other associates of Bali, Jambasur, Paka, Namuchi, etc. So they become incensed that how could this, Indra, he dared to harm our leader. So immediately Jambasur comes and attacks Indra. So what does Jambasur do? Jambasur is a very powerful demon. Jambasur rides on a lion. शेर की सवारी करते हैं, and he struck Eravat with a powerful Vajra, and beaten by Jambasur's club, Eravat got confused and started having vertigo, and he crashed down. And as he was falling down, Indra was falling from his top, and Matali, Indra's charioteer, he realizing the gravity of the situation, immediately brought Indra's chariot with 1,000 horses and carried Indra on that chariot. And Jambasur, seeing this act of chivalry, courage, valor by Matali, he smiles, but then immediately strikes Matali with a trident of blazing fire. Matali is badly bruised and hurt, but he still tolerates the pain and continues, riding the chariot with tolerance and patience. So, seeing that his charioteer who has helped him struck so badly, Indra becomes incensed and he throws his Vajra on Jambasur and cuts his head, and Jambasur falls. So, Bali ko maar diya, Jambasur ko maar diya. Now hearing this, the other demons start, all attacking together. Bala, Paka, Namuchi, all of them start chasing Indra. So there's a fierce battle which ensues. Again, they speak harsh words and then shower torrents of arrows. So Bala, he showers 1,000 arrows which hit each of the 1,000 horses of Indra. And then Paka, at one time he shoots 250 arrows which go and destroy the chariot of Indra. And then Namuchi, he attacks Indra with 15 very powerful arrows. So when all of these arrows are being showered, it appears like a big rain cloud has completely covered the mountain, and Indra becomes invisible, and all the devatas, they start crying, "Alas, alas! Now our ship doesn't have any captain." So you see, even after receiving the nectar, you still have to go through struggle. Yeah. So but then Indra very valiantly fended off all of this attack and came out like the bright sun comes out from a dark monsoon cloud. which दिखता रहता है. Keep on. The sun is playing hide and seek every day, right? You can see. So then Indra attacks Bala and Paka, and with his thunderbolt kills them and all of their relatives and followers. And such a ghastly scene is created. Half of the demons run away, seeing this. But then Namuchi, who is a very, very famed demon, he shouts, "Now Indra, you are killed!" And Namuchi releases his weapon, which is having bells attached to it, and so it is ringing and coming towards Indra. Indra cuts that with his Vajra, and then Indra strikes Namuchi with his thunderbolt. to cut off his head. But as the thunderbolt, with the force and speed with which it goes and reaches Namuchi's neck, it comes back to Indra without harming him. And seeing this, Indra is completely dumbfounded. What happened? How is it that my thunderbolt failed? My Vajra has killed the best of demons. I have killed Vritrasur with this Vajra. अभी ये कौन है? ये किस खेत की मूली है? And he becomes morose. And then he starts thinking, now I am gone. I don't have any other weapon. How can I kill him? So he becomes morose and disappointed. And as he's standing disappointed, there's an Akashvani which says that, oh Indra, this Namuchi has been given a boon that he will not be killed by a weapon which is either wet or dry. So he cannot be killed by a weapon which is wet or dry. So Brahmastra seemed it is a dry weapon. So Indra realizes, okay, then he uses a weapon made of foam. I don't know what kind of weapon it is. So weapon made of foam, he uses that and cuts off the head of Namuchi. Now what do we learn from this here? Indra, who has so valiantly fought against all of these demons, but every time you see he has been using his thunderbolt, वज्र वेपन को यूज कर रहा है बार बार. और क्या हो रहा है? बलि को उससे मार दिया, जाम्बासुर को मार दिया, बला पाका सबको मार दिया. But when it came to Namuchi, that weapon failed. So what happens that when we are successful in the same pattern with the same skills and strength, when you are again and again successful with the same skills and strength, you become too much dependent on those skills and strengths. And you become so used to that success, you stop growing. Right? Success can definitely give you confidence, but success can also give you complacency. I have always done it this way. We have always been successful in this way. So you become so dependent on that you stop thinking. You stop being creative. Whereas what happens when you fail? Failures open up your mind to think beyond assumptions. Failures open up your mind to think out of the box and be creative. Isn't it? Because when something doesn't work, you have to really think on your feet, especially in a battlefield. So the success of Indra had made him a prisoner of his success. That he could not think beyond Vajra. The Vajra became a confinement. Yes, I will keep on using Vajra and I will keep on being victorious. This is my key to success. Everyone is looking for key to success. Yeah. Everyone is looking for that Vajra. But that Vajra can also make you a prisoner. That you can't think beyond that. So, while we are definitely wanting to be successful, but we should not discount the position of failures or value of failures in our life, because failures are junctures where we think beyond our assumptions and our limited thought process, and we become creative. So failures should not be just mourned upon. Failures are something which we can utilize as opportunities for growth and being creative. And many times what happens, students, especially those who are very much focused into just academics, just IQ. For them, their Vajra is IQ. मैं इससे बोर्ड में टॉप किया, 10th में टॉप किया, इससे मैं 12th में टॉप किया, इससे मैं जेई को क्रैक किया. So that Vajra has worked for them always. That Vajra has helped them kill the Bala, Paka, Jambasur, and even Bali. मतलब जेई भी क्रैक कर लिया उस वजह से, आईक्यू के वजह से. But then they encounter situations in life where the same Vajra of IQ doesn't crack some new problems. There are some other demons, some other opponents, such as Namuchi, where Vajra doesn't act. Your IQ can help you crack competitive exams, but IQ can help you crack the competition at workplace. It can help you crack the competitive exam, but not the competitive environment, work environment, right? Or difficult situations where you might need EQ or emotional quotient, or SQ or spiritual quotient. So it is good to specialize in certain abilities and talents that you have, but it is also important to develop, to have a holistic personality. You know, it is important to have your EQ and SQ, emotional quotient and spiritual quotient also. Okay, right? So this is something which we can learn from here, because there have been many people, like for example, after being successful all of their academic careers, but when they come to the real life, in their in terms of whether it is workplace or that family, they are many times miserable, because they have always been in the books, but they have not spent time with people. So when it comes to family, they find they are not able to gel with people. So therefore, that becomes an incomplete personality. And even many companies have gone out of business because they were not flexible. They had become too dependent on their vajras. For example, this case study of Kodak. Kodak was having like 70-80% of the market share in cameras. And they had these kind of cameras with rolls, with the films, and they had captured the majority of the market share all over the globe. And they were the first to file patent for the digital technology also. But they felt that people would always love physical photos. Who will use these digital photos? They didn't, because that time there were no smartphones and other things, right? So they had limited conception that हमारा ये जो वज्रा है, which is जो physical photos का, ये वज्रा से हम will keep our market share. But then what happened? Eventually, digital technology picked up, and although they were the pioneers, they did not leverage that, and they became bankrupt in a few years. So a company which was leading the world market in terms of the camera technology, they became bankrupt because they became too dependent on the Vajra. Right? Similarly, Nokia always thought that people will always like button phones. But then this touch phones came on the scene. So these are some things that we can see from this in episode, and one lesson from the spiritual perspective is that a devotee derives one's confidence. Here Indra has become demoralized. मेरा वज्रा काम नहीं किया. But a devotee doesn't derive his or her confidence from the skills and talents and abilities one has. A devotee derives one's confidence from Krishna. Krishna है ना, Krishna संभाल लेंगे. Arjuna, when he had the choice between Narayani Sena and Krishna, he chose Bindas. I want Krishna. He, because he was very confident, if Krishna is with me, no one can harm me. Hmm? Even if the entire Narayani Sena, what to speak of Narayani Sena, even if the entire world is against me, they can't harm me because I have my full confidence in Krishna. So this has been put together in a nice poem, I think. Krishna tells Arjuna, हार निश्चित है तेरी हरदम रहेगा उदास. हार निश्चित है तेरी हरदम रहेगा उदास. माखन दुर्योधन ले गया, केवल छाछ बची है तेरे पास. Arjuna says, हे प्रभु, जीत निश्चित है मेरी, दास नहीं हो सकता उदास. जीत निश्चित है मेरी, दास नहीं हो सकता उदास. माखन लेकर क्या करूं जब माखन चोर है मेरे पास. So Arjuna is confident, even if Narayani Sena, what to speak of all the Senas, if Duryodhan takes it, and even I have just you, I am very confident of my victory. So that should be the source of our confidence. And when Krishna closes one door, you'll always open another door. So one just needs to keep one's eyes and ears open. So these are two lessons which we can learn from this particular episode. And then finally, Indra uses that form of weapon to kill Namuchi. And then as Namuchi also falls, all the primary demons have been killed. So now whatever is remaining are just, very secondary and weak demons. So all the devatas, they pounce on them, attack on them, chase them, and they are all running and fleeing, and they are still, chasing and killing all of them. There's a slaughter happening. And at that point of time, Brahmaji calls Narad Muni, emergency, emergency, go and stop all of these devatas. It is not good that they are killing these demons wholesale. They are killing, they are fighting against the demons was out of self-defense. Because the demons attacked them, so they had the right to defend themselves. But now what they are doing, what the devatas are doing, is unjustified. Isn't it? Like, now these people are anyways weak and running away. You should allow them abhaydan de do. So I'll read that for you. Narad Muni comes and tells the devatas. He says, all of you demigods are protected by the arms of Narayan, and by his grace you have gotten nectar. By grace of the goddess of fortune, you are glorious in every way. Therefore, please stop fighting. Accepting the words of Narada, the demigods gave up their anger and stopped fighting. So this is to the glory and credit of the devatas that they immediately, you may make mistakes, you may go wrong, but as soon as a superior authority comes and advises you that yes, you are going too far, that time if you stop yourself, restrain yourself, you are saved. It is to the credit of the devatas. They could have continued fighting. Oh, Narad Muni, don't interfere. You don't know how much trouble these demons have given to us. We will wipe their entire dynasty, their race out from this universe. To hell with these devatas. We don't want to see them even in hell. We want to wipe them out. No, they restrain themselves. They realize, no. If Narad Muni is telling, it is the right advice. Let us stop. So again, repeatedly we saw previously also, even if the advice came from Bali, he accepted, and now Narad Muni has asked them to restrain, so they restrained. And even in the episode where the devatas went to Kayadhu to kill the child in the womb, which is Prahlad, right? So then Narad Muni told that no, the child in the womb of Kayadu is an exceptional devotee of the Lord. So they restrain this, they realize, okay. So therefore, when if we are human, to err is human, but to correct our mistakes on receiving good advice, that is divine. So Narad Muni's advice was received nicely. And another thing is, which is very interesting, that why is it that Brahmaji and Narad Muni are asking them to restrain? All of these demons, they are uh, full of dishonesty, cruelty, and sin. Hmm? All of their activities are full of dishonesty, cruelty, and sinfulness. Hmm? So they deserve to be killed. They deserve to be wiped out. Why is it that Brahmaji and Narad Muni, who are on the side of dharma, protecting those who are on the side of adharma? Do you have any answers? Any of my audience? Do you have any answer why Narad Muni and Brahmaji are asking them to restrain and not kill? Yes, Shubhangi, please go ahead. Please tell.
Maybe because it is against the code of dharma to kill someone who's fleeing from the battlefield.
Okay, yes, that is one correct answer. It is against the conduct of code of conduct. Yeah, but they were trying to wipe out the demons wholesale. That is another factor. Yes.
And and there's a balance of nature between goodness and evil, and if you
Mm-hmm.
damage
Yes.
that balance.
Yes, you are very close. What do you think, Tanay?
Merely killing the demons won't kill the demoniac mentality.
Wow. Yeah, that is also very interesting and important thing to consider. Hmm. So I'll put both of these things together. Wait, Priya, yes, please go ahead.
There should also be an example of how bad should be in this world. So, like, demons are an example of how evil are.
And what? How will that help?
It helps, like, you should not be this way. It's a example to show how
नेगेटिव
not to
होता है
be.
या कई बार पेरेंट्स टेल अरे तू देख पढ़ेगा पढ़ेगा लिखेगा नहीं तो वो उसके जैसा हो जाएगा हाँ वो 4 क्लास फेल हुआ है okay yeah these are very interesting responses so I'll put all of this together basically there is a balance in nature. The balance is in terms of good and evil, dharma and adharma. That balance has to exist because people in this world come with different um, swabhav and vasanas. They have different desires and they have different natures. And the world is meant to facilitate everyone's swabhav, everyone's nature, and everyone's desires. So that is the job description. That is the service of Brahmaji. He creates the different species of life. Why does he create different species? Because different living entities with different natures and desires have to be facilitated. You can't put them in a freezer, right? A living entity has a desire and has a certain nature that has to get expression. Hmm? Gradually, one can get purified over a period of time, but at least that living entity has to be given some, you know, way where they can express their nature and their desire. Their desire may lead them to sin and negative vicious cycle. They may sin, then again receive punishment. That punishment will act as treatment for them, right? So Brahmaji has to facilitate everyone, just as um, you there are different types of there are different faculties in a university. Maybe all the toppers they might choose, say, science. But that doesn't mean that the university closes down the other faculties of knowledge, because different people, different students may have different nature and desires. So they should be given avenue to explore that. So Brahmaji therefore stops. One reason is that. Another is that Sanatan Dharma, it is based on it is a dharma based on the existence of the soul. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara bhakti, that the body keeps on changing, but the soul is the same person, right? So all the living entities are pure spiritual entities, but who have been covered up by different bodily designations. So therefore, they need to be given facility to gradually purify themselves. So therefore, Sanatana Dharma is not a religion which calls for Holocaust or genocide. कि जो हमारा धर्म मानता है वो जिएगा, बाकी सब मर जाएंगे. No. Sanatana Dharma gives everyone opportunity and facility to survive and thrive and gradually get purified. So therefore, this is something which we can celebrate, that how our Sanatana celebrate and also reorient. Sometimes, we also might, think like there should be no other religion, only this. No, other religions, there are different people, different living entities with different swabhav, different kind of karmic background. For them, right now, they might not be ready for this. So they have to be facilitated by some other path. So let them gradually get purified. So we don't want to make a, what is it called, complete proprietorship, sole proprietorship over the market. Okay, so finally then the devatas went back to the heavenly planets, and the demons, whoever were remaining, they carried the dead bodies of the demons to Ashtagiri Parvat, where their guru Shukracharya is residing. And Shukracharya is very aggrieved seeing Bali, all of these demons in this condition, and he chants Sanjeevani mantras. And by these Sanjeevani mantras, he again revives all the demons. The demons whose heads were not cut off, जिनके सर नहीं कटे थे, उनको वापस रिवाइव कर देते हैं. So Bali comes back. So you see, real nectar is shelter of the spiritual master. इतना सब करके, इतना बड़ा युद्ध किया, ये किया, लेकिन गुरु की शरण लिया इन्होंने, वापस उनको लाइफ मिल गया, right? So taking shelter of the guru is what is being recommended. Okay, now we have some time. Let us begin the chapter 12 and see till where do we reach. So after this whole episode has concluded, Lord Shiva, he gets a desire. He's discussing with his wife Parvati that, look, what an astounding pastime just took place. Lord took the form of a woman, a most beautiful, attractive lady, and he charmed the hearts of these demons, and he took away this nectar and gave it, distributed. How the Lord is Bhakta Vatsal, that he can take the form of a very enchanting lady to protect his devotees' share. So let us go, and we should also go and see this, have this darshan. We have had darshan of all the avatars, Ram avatar, all avatars we have had darshan. This Mohini avatar we could not have darshan. So let us go and have darshan. Let us go to the abode of Lord Vishnu. So like this Shivji tells. Now, it is interesting that Lord Shiva was the first recipient of the first product of मंथन. सबसे पहला जो विष आया था हलाहल शिवजी ने लिया था. उसके बाद वो चले गए. ऐसा नहीं कि बैठे हैं वही देखो क्या चल रहा है अपने यहाँ पे, लेट मी वॉच द होल मैच. अपना सेवा करके चले गए. It is very interesting that it seems that great devotees don't hang out if they don't have any service. Garuda, in case of Garuda also, गरुड़ा इतना मंदार पर्वत को लेके आया, मंदार पर्वत को लाके रख दिए, भगवान ने बोला अभी जाओ तो दूसरा सेवा करो. नहीं नहीं मुझे देखना है क्या होगा. It will be very interesting, fascinating. No? If I have seva, then let me be here. Wherever there is seva, I will go there. What is the point of just being a mute spectator? Because the purpose of life is not enjoyment, but seva, but service. We are not looking for our enjoyment, we are looking for Krishna's enjoyment. I may just, there were many, it is described that in Prabhupada's time, there were some devotees who would just be following Prabhupada. Wherever Prabhupada would go, they would take flights and go there. And then when Prabhupada took flight back home, back to Godhead, they took flight out of ISKCON. They left. Why? Because let me see what Prabhupada does. Not let me serve Prabhupada. Right? So this is just a way our spiritual masters teach us that what we should not do. So Lord Shiva, he is not present when the entire churning is happening, however intriguing it may be, because there was no service for him. So this is a very important question which can help us make many decisions in life. Should I do this or should I not do this? Ask yourself how I can serve better. In any situation, your decision making will become much easier if you ask yourself this question: how can I serve better? Right? So Lord Shiva, now he desires to have darshan. So he and Parvati, they approach Lord Vishnu's abode, and Mahadev, he offers very, very elaborate prayers to Lord Vishnu. And then he says that I have had darshan of all the avatars, but this one avatar I missed out. So can I have a quick recap? Can I have the darshan? So then it is described, Prahasya Bhava Gambhira. Lord smiles, but it is a very grave smile. Are you really sure you want to see my form? Okay. You may think twice. So Prahasya Bhava Gambhira, in a very grave mood. Because Lord is thinking that form was for the demons to cheat them. Devotees have no business seeing that form. So we should be careful about what we ask the Lord. भगवान से क्या प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं? वो भगवान भी सोचते हैं क्या मांग रहा है, देऊं क्या? Many times curiosity kills the cat, बोलते हैं ना? So curiosity, no need to have unnecessary curiosity of ये कैसे वो कैसे. But yeah, there is a pastime which is happening. So Lord says, okay, this form of mine was meant to bewilder the demons. This form of mine is especially pleasing for those who are lusty. So he already gives a disclaimer कि कुछ भी हो सकता है. Don't blame me later कि ऐसा हो गया वैसा हो गया. भाई पहले ही disclaimer दे दिया है, कुछ भी हो सकता है. And this form is meant for the demons. But still, because you have expressed desire, I can't deny. So then Lord immediately disappears from the scene. And Lord Shiva is looking, Are, kahan gaye? And in a distant forest, he sees this beautiful young damsel girl who is playing with a ball. Running around, playing with a ball, and such a description is there. And Lord Shiva, initially, he's very, very excited. Arey wow, Lord has appeared. Arey, mere Bhagwan, Lord Vishnu has appeared. But then as he's beholding that form, he gets more and more agitated. Seeing the, seeing her form, the description is given. Now you can read in the Bhagavatam. So actually, demons को तो केवल एक ट्रेलर दिया था. लॉर्ड शिवा को तो पूरा उसका means most bewildering form देखा. So Lord Shiva gets bewildered and he starts chasing after Mohini Murti. He forgets himself, he forgets his wife Parvati. खुशी खुशी आए थे, अरे पार्वती चलो दर्शन करके आते हैं भगवान का. अभी पार्वती को भूल गए, खुद को भूल गए और भाग रहे हैं मोहिनी मूर्ति के पीछे, हाथ धो के पड़े हैं. एंड मोहिनी मूर्ति इज रनिंग. अरे कौन पीछे पड़ा है? भूतनाथ पीछे पड़े हैं. He is running, she is running. This is happening. So actually there are 6 opulences. ईश्वरस्य समग्रस्य वीर्यस्य यशस्विय ज्ञान वैराग्यश्चैव छन्ना तिंगना. There are these 6 bhagas or opulences. And ये सब जो 6 opulence में ना, there are conflicting pairs. Conflicting pairs. Beauty and renunciation. They don't go well together. Beauty is the enemy of renunciation. And renunciation is...
All wealthy.
Huh?
All wealthy renunciation.
All?
Wealthy.
Wealth and renunciation is not so much of an enemy. The wealthy people, they are not intimidated by the renunciant. Like richest people, they may close their doors for other rich people also. But then for sadhus, ये क्या लेके जाएगा? आ जाओ. They call sadhus because they think it is auspicious to call sadhus. So rich people, they are not threatened by renunciants. But beauty and renunciation, they don't go well together. Similarly, wealth and intelligence, wealth and knowledge. Wealthy people, they think I can purchase these IITians and keep in my pocket. So wealthy people, they have a pride. Intelligent people को मैं hire कर सकता हूँ. But then they also feel threatened because ये मेरे से आगे निकल जाएगा, right? Because there are many times it has happened, an employee, he left a company, started his own company, which later on excelled. For example, Brian Acton, he was rejected by Facebook and Twitter. Then he started WhatsApp. And Facebook had to purchase WhatsApp in $16 billion. So wealthy people, they may hire intelligent people, but they are not always at ease. They don't want them to control affairs because we Birla and Lodha wala case hai na, that Priyamvada Birla, in her will she gave away the entire 5,000 crore property to her CA. उसके ऊपर अभी भी केस चल रहा है कि वो वास्तव में किया was under something, some force. So intelligent people are always a threat to the wealthy people, and the powerful and the famous people. Big politicians, they have a lot of power, but they know that these famous people, these influencers, they make one statement against them and it can be harmful for them. Just today there was a news that 2 Olympic wrestlers, they have joined the Congress party. Yeah, because politicians know the power of these famous people. And recently in Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina was ousted, and a famous person, Muhammad Yunus, the Nobel laureate, he has been made the prime minister. That is another topic. So therefore, beauty and renunciation, wealth and knowledge, power and fame. So people are always living in threat with some other person who has got another opulence. So beauty and renunciation, they don't go well together. So Lord Shiva, he is chasing after Mohini Murti. Mohini Murti is running around, and she is also purposely going through the ashrams of great sages. to show them, demonstrate them. Bach ke rehna. So that all the great sages are seeing and they are aghast that if this can happen to Lord Shiva, it could happen to me. They are thinking. So there is a story of Vyasdev's disciple Jaimini. Vyasdev is telling this shloka that Matra Swastra Duhitrava Na Avikta Avavikta Asano Bhavet Balvan Indriya Grama Vidvamsam Api Karshati. That one should not sit close to a woman, even if it is one's mother, one's daughter or sister, because lust is so powerful that even a learned person could be bewildered. So Jaimini Rishi is hearing this from Vyasadeva and saying that, what are you talking, Vyasadeva? Now, one should not, a foolish person could get bewildered by sitting next to one's, sister, daughter or mother. But a learned person, Vyasadeva says, whatever Shastra says is absolute. So he says, no, I don't think learned people, they can't be bewildered. Vyasadeva says, okay, we will see. And Vyasadeva goes to a pilgrimage to Varanasi for some days and he says, Jaimini, that you take care of the ashram. So he's taking care of the ashram, and one particular evening, there is heavy rain, downpour, and then there is a knocking on the hut. And he asks, who is it? So then a female voice comes that, oh, actually I am in such a desperate condition. It is raining heavily outside and I need shelter. So he says, no, this is ashram. I can't allow you inside. Then she says, but you should, be compassionate. So then he says, okay, you come inside, I will go outside. So he opens the door and for a moment, he looks at her. And he immediately rushes outside and allows her in, closes, and he says, close the door from inside, and even if I tell you, don't open the door. So she says, okay, so be it, I am so grateful to you. So then that one moment of that image of this woman stays with him, and then he goes to sleep. He's not getting to sleep. What is happening to me? Why am I again thinking of that good lady? Then in the middle of the night, he knocks. He says, there's a lot of heavy wind blowing outside. Can you open the door? So she says, no, you had told not to open the door. I had told not to open. Now I am telling open the door. He says, no, I will not open it. So then the lust within him starts, impelling him. He starts banging on the door, jumping on the door. She is not opening. Then he rises, climbs on the top of the thatched hut, removes the thatch and jumps inside. He becomes so dazed by this lust that he jumps inside, and inside he rushes after this young girl, and suddenly that young girl transforms into Vyasdev. And Vyasdev says, so did you understand the shloka? Yeah. So this is how the scriptures are describing that all of us, we are, whether man or woman, we are all under the subjugation of this Devi Hesha Guname Mama Maya Duratyaya. Lord Krishna's Maya potency is very powerful. We may theoretically speak all of these things, but it is not possible to restrain oneself when one is attacked by Maya. Yat Srishta Srishteshu Kono Khandita Deepaman. Any person who has been created by Brahma is under the, is under the jurisdiction of Maya Shakti. No one can say, okay, I can conquer Maya. No, we cannot conquer Maya. We can just take shelter of Krishna, and Lord Krishna can subdue Maya. Sachinand Maharaj gives the example that as a small boy, he would go as a newspaper seller. He would go and throw newspaper in different people's homes. and make a living. So he once went to a home where the owner had a big bulldog, and he threw the newspaper, and this bulldog came chasing after him as a young boy, and he was fearing for his life that this dog is going to rip me apart in no time. And when he was thinking like this, suddenly the master called, Tommy, Tommy, stop. And as soon as the master said, Tommy immediately froze there and started, putting his tongue out, wagging his tail. So he realized that I am I am a puny little person in front of this dog. Within a minute, he can rip me apart. But when the master says it to sit quiet, I am saved. So similarly, we have no power over Maya Shakti, but when we take shelter of the master of Maya, then this Maya Shakti will leave us, uh, aside. She will not trouble us. So, and the last thing that I want to share is that in the form of Mohini Murti, actually, what was Lord Shiva looking for? He had come to take darshan of Krishna or Vishnu only, right? So, George Harrison, in the introduction to preface to Krishna book, he says, all of us are looking for Krishna. Some know it, some don't know it. Some, they are looking for Krishna in the form of money. They are chasing money. They are not chasing money. They are chasing Krishna. They don't know. Someone is chasing fame. They are not chasing fame. They are chasing Krishna. Someone is chasing beauty, opposite gender. They are not chasing beauty. They are chasing Krishna. So actually, the Mohini Murti, which each and every one of us is chasing for, is Krishna only. But in a perverted way. When the Lord comes in his real form, Lord comes in his real form only with devotion. When we approach the Lord with devotion, then Lord reveals his real form, that of the pleasing form of Lord Vishnu. So when this thing happened at that time, it is described that Lord Shiva discharged semen, and then he realized what had happened, and immediately that Mohini form disappeared and Lord Vishnu appeared in a smiling form. And Lord Shiva was not ashamed. He was not agitated. He said, "Wow, maza aaya. Bhagwan, kya natak racha hai. Dekho, people call me as Yogeshwar and so many things. Who am I in front of your Shakti? Your potency can bewilder me also." So actually, there is a reason why this entire episode happened. I'll tell this first time from Skanda Puran. In the Skanda Puran, it is mentioned that Lord Shiva, that there was this Mahishasur. Mahishasur had asked for a boon from Brahmaji that I can be killed only by a woman. He thought that how can a woman kill me? तो सब ये demons ऐसे अतरंगी ideas लेके आते हैं. So उसने बोला no woman can kill me. Then actually Durga Devi killed him. He underestimated the power of woman. So Durga Devi killed him with her trident. So then Mahishasura's sister was Mahishi. She was so angry that how can my brother be killed? So she performed austerity and called Brahmaji. Brahmaji बोले अब तेरे को क्या बोल? So she said, give me a boon that I may be killed by the son of Shiva and Vishnu. She asked this boon. Now Shiva and Vishnu both are male. How can there be a son? तो उसने ऐसा आइडिया लगा कि शिव और विष्णु के संयोग से जो बने पुत्र उससे मेरी मृत्यु. तो ब्रह्मा जी बोले अरे यार क्या मांगते हैं लोग. ठीक है तथास्तु. And then after she got this boon, she started creating havoc. She started, relentlessly killing people and the devatas. So while this fight is happening between Indra and all, simultaneously this fight is also happening. This Mahishi is fighting with the devatas and people and brahmanas. She's killing them. At that time, someone has to counter her, and the devatas realize they can't fight and kill her. So then the boon that Shiva और विष्णु के संयोग से ही जो पुत्र होगा वो हो सकता है. So then actually the Seamen say the son appears, who is called Shasta or Ayyappa. He comes and then he slays Mahishi and he puts her to rest and stops the violence which she is doing. So actually there is a story behind why this entire episode also takes place. But these are all wonderful leelas of the Lord with so many lessons and so many interesting turns and twists. So you don't need to watch any Netflix web series. Thank you all for joining, and any questions, comments, reflections anyone wants to share? Yes, Vedpriya.
Hi Krishna Prabhuji. I don't have a question this time. I just wanted to say something.
Yes.
I've heard a lot of my friends here talking about Ayyappa story, and a lot of people here, they wear this thing called Ayyappa Mala, and they told me the story of how the son of Shiva and Vishnu, and he's Ayyappa, and that's why we worship him. And I found this very hard to believe. I was like, is this bona fide or not? And thank you for clearing that doubt. I had this doubt for a really long time.
Yes, so actually Shubh Vilas Prabhu writes it in his book on Lord Shiva. So he has taken in this pastime from Skanda Puran, and he mentions this pastime. So I just put Bhagavatam and Skanda Puran together and served you this episode.
Yeah, Prabhuji, thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Anything else anyone wants to share? Murari Chaitanya Prabhu, any concluding words? Okay, so then we will close our discussion today, and we will meet next week with another very, very interesting episode from the Srimad Bhagavatam. There will be suspense. What pastime we will pick up, we'll let you know a couple of days before, say by Wednesday. So please do join us for the next episode. Hare Krishna. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sai Gaur Premanand.